So my last video, I talked about a question that I get asked a lot because I'm the chief economist of Redfin. People are always asking me, are we in a housing bubble? You can go check out that video if you didn't see it. I thought it was pretty insightful, so you should check it out for yourself. This time, I'm going to talk about a topic that I don't get asked a lot about, and I wish people would ask me because I actually have some experience on this subject. I'm going to be talking about why we're in a labor shortage. I'll explain why I'm putting that in quotations later, and why I think it's actually going to get worse before it gets better. So first off, why should you listen to me? Well, before I was a chief economist of Redfin, I was a senior economist at Amazon, and I studied employee engagement. So why do workers quit? What can we do to retain them? How can we make them happier so that they're more productive? Things like that. So I have a lot of opinions about why people don't want to go back to work. Hashtag nobody wants to work anymore, why that's happening. So the first thing you should know is that during the pandemic, the personal savings rate increased quite a bit. It's now at 21%, when before the pandemic it was never that high, going back all the way to the 1960s. In the several years before the pandemic, it didn't exceed 10%. So we went from a situation where workers never saved more than 10% of their income to now they're saving 21% of their income. And there's been a lot of talk about how people have all this money and there's going to be all this pent up demand and they're going to want to go eat in restaurants and go on vacations. I think that's true. But another thing they're going to want to do is use that money to finance a period of unemployment where they can look for a job that really gives them what they want out of a job, whether it's a career pathway, better income, better work conditions, all of that. So this is causing people to say that there is a labor shortage. You can see it very clearly at the bottom of the income spectrum. There's all this talk about restaurants who can't find workers, McDonald's raised their wages, Amazon raised their wages for hourly workers, but it's also going to happen at the high end of the spectrum. And I don't even like calling it a labor shortage because there are workers, they just want specific things out of their job. They want better pay, they want better conditions, and if employers gave that to them, then they would work for them and there wouldn't be a shortage. So I think it's going to happen to the high income of the spectrum, because if you look at who's been saving the most during the pandemic, yes, people at the bottom of the income spectrum have gotten stimulus payments, they've gotten unemployment, but that's not a whole lot. They've probably been spending most of that money. The people who kept their jobs and didn't have anything to do, couldn't go on vacations, couldn't eat out, they've saved the most. They can finance basically a 6-week period of unemployment based on how much they have saved. And if you are at a job where you've been overworked during the pandemic, you don't feel like you're valued, you're going to use that money to go find a different job. There was a survey done by Prudential in March called the Pulse of the American Worker Survey, and they found that 26% of workers plan to look for a new job at a new employer once the pandemic subsides. So that's a lot of people. There are a lot of people out there who are unsatisfied with their job and want to go somewhere else, and now they have the money to actually do it. This is going to present a problem for employers. If you're an employer who didn't treat your workers that great during the pandemic, maybe you had them work long hours, maybe you cut their pay, you may lose some of those workers right now. But even if you were an employer who really did the right thing by your employees, at least for the most part, you're at risk too, because those employers who are losing workers, they have to replace the workers that they lost. And they're going to have to increase compensation, offer better benefits in order to lure workers away from possibly the employers who did a good job. So there's going to be a huge reshuffling of workers. On top of that, we have remote work culture, which changed during the pandemic. Some employers are going to have policies where they call their employees back in. Some employees aren't going to like that and they're going to quit and find a new job. Some employers are going to say, yes, we love remote work, keep working remotely. We're not going to renew our office leases, and some of their employees are not going to like that. They're going to want a situation where they can go into the office and be around lots of people, their social butterflies maybe. So there's going to be a big shuffling of people looking for a job that really fits the work culture that they want, has the compensation that they want, and has basically the career that they want for the long term. And taking a step back, at a society level, this is a really big shift that's happening. It used to be that employers didn't have to worry about their employees leaving to find something better because their employees couldn't afford to do it. Looking for a job is costly. That gave employers a lot of power to set wages lower than the value of their employees because they don't have to worry about them leaving. But now that people have savings, they have more power. They have the time, the money to go look for something better, and they're going to demand a job that pays them what they're actually worth. So I think this could cause a really big shift in just work culture in America. We'll probably see more employers offer better benefits, more structured time, more flexible work hours for some, maybe more defined work hours for some. We're going to see them offer better benefits, like more vacation, better retirement plans, things like that. And we'll probably see compensation rise overall. That compensation could lead to some inflation, but that's a whole another topic I'm not going to get into right now. So what's my advice? If you are an employer, whether you think you have a good work culture or you're worried about your work culture, do a survey of your workers, find out exactly how happy they are, ask them to be honest. You can find out which of your workers are at most risk for leaving and really try to address their concerns so that you can retain them. Some of them might leave anyway, no matter what you do, but you should at least try to retain them and create a better work culture or give your employees what they want. If you're an employee, I think that you should update your resume. You can do that on LinkedIn, put that little sign up that shows recruiters that you're interested and see what recruiters slide into your LinkedIn DMs with offers so you can find out what you're really worth. Find out what these other employers are offering so at least you know how your value has changed, because I think there is a big change coming in workers' values where incomes will increase, and the more information you have, the more power you will have. So that's my advice. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, please let me know. You can leave a comment as to what else I should cover. And thanks for watching.